Surviving corporate America feels like it's impossible. But in reality, there are a few things you can do in particular that I wish I would have done at the beginning that can make sure that you not only survive corporate America, but that you can thrive. Hey, before we get started, this channel is completely dedicated to helping you be successful in your 9-to-5 and your small business. So I can't do it without your help. Do me a small favor to get started by hitting the subscribe button right at the top, and then let us know what you think about this video in the comments. Thanks. Look, as a corporate executive, as a consultant, and as a small business owner, I cannot overstate just how difficult corporate America can be if you've never put any real thought, action, or had the experience of a mentor to guide you through the journey. What happens so many times is people just are frustrated, man. Like, they come into work every day in a job that they hate, with people that they don't really enjoy, and they don't really have a path to get out of the situation that they're currently in. But that's okay, because you got me. Let's jump right in. Number one, over-deliver. So many of you think you are LeBron, but in reality, you're a bench player. Before you get too mad, let me tell you what I mean. There's so many people that think just because they come in every single day and do their job, that they're dominating their job, that the department wouldn't go on without them, and that they're critical to the success of the department. For some of you, that may be true. In my experience as a leader, for 75 to 90% of you, that couldn't be further from the case. And it all comes down to not only how you're doing your work, but what type of work that you're working on. Here's the easy way to figure this one out. If you are not working on something that is critical to not only your boss, but the company, you're not working on the most important, most impactful work, and you're not as critical as you think you are. The trick here is find that work, preferably work that generates money, to make sure not only are you protected and guarded a little bit in your role, but that you're in a position that when you succeed, everyone gets to notice and give you credit for it. I can't overstate this enough. So many people think they're in the game, but they never actually left the bench because the work that they're working on is not impactful to the business. Do an assessment. Don't let this one be you. Tip number two, in order to thrive in corporate America and not just survive, you want other people to be a part of your story and to feel like they're impacting your story. So by the time you get successful, someone can say, hey, he was under my tutelage. Hey, she was in my team early on and I had a chance to mentor and guide her and play a small part of her journey. And I'm so proud of what she's gone on to achieve. You want to build a diverse network that can be a part of your story. Now, some people say, hey, look, I don't have a friendly personality, or I don't know what to do, or I just started this role and I'm not quite sure how to get going. Let me help you out there. I get it. There's two categories, and I have a whole video on this, which are the difference between mentors and sponsors. Check it out in the thread. You want to get two groups of people in your corner. You want to get a set of mentors who can help guide you, give you advice, pour into you, help you with a bad day. But then you also want to get a group of sponsors who not only are in a position to impact you and usually in a position of authority, but you want these people to be advocating on your behalf, because in reality, they can speak for you in the rooms that you can't speak for yourself. Now, there's a trap here. When so many people go out to find mentors and sponsors, they go out to look for people like themselves. And if you know anything about humans, in our tribal nature, we like things that make us feel comfortable. And I get it. But in reality, success comes in many forms and many people. So you're gonna wanna build bridges with all different types of people. So if you work in sales, don't be afraid to build a bridge with someone who works in marketing that has an impact on your department. If you work in sales, don't be afraid to work with someone who has an impact in technology or compliance. Again, these are people that when they hear your name can come in and speak on your behalf or give you great advice to get you through a bad day. You're going to need a network to call on. And this is my last point on this one because I think it's so important. You are gonna fall at some point in your career. You're gonna be impacted by a bad boss or a layoff or anything in between. And you're gonna need to pick up the phone to phone a friend to help you out of a bind. I've been there as recently as this year. Do well by people. The same people you see on your way to the top are the same people you're gonna see as you fall down the mountaintop. Don't skip past this one. It's too meaningful. Number three, have a plan. One of the most common reasons why people are frustrated with anything is because they know in the back of their mind they should be doing something and they're not. Think about how many times you know there's a task that's just nagging on you that you really don't want to do and it's just eating you alive. That's similar to why most people are frustrated in their job. They know they should be doing more with their life, but in reality, they're not moving towards their goals. We're gonna be different. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to have a development plan. And a development plan is going to have 3 big categories. Number 1, on the first row, is going to be what are the next 3 roles over the next 5 years you could see yourself in. And that can be in order, or that could just be 3 roles that you're interested in. I want you to list all 3. In the middle row, I want you to look up the experience and credentials needed for each of those roles, and I want you to list those experience and credentials, and I want you to then do a comparison of what you currently have today and what you're missing, and I want you to emphasize the piece that you're missing by circling that on each of the 3 sections. And then lastly, I want you to have a row for networking. And I want you to visualize the other roles, and if you can, using LinkedIn and other places, people that are in those roles that can help you get to those positions. And that can be people you know or people you don't know. But I want you to start calling that out. Now that you know where you want to go, I want you to work backwards from there. I want you to now list out over the next year, what are 3 things you need to achieve to move you towards one of those ideal goals. Now I want you to go further back, and I want you to say, what do you need to do is 6 months to meet you towards your 12-month goal. And now I want you to go back and say, what do I need to do over the next 30 days to achieve my 6-month goal that will put me towards my 12-month goal. This is a skeleton of a really good development plan. You have to have one to succeed. Number 4, don't overshare. I cannot stress this enough. I'm not gonna spend a bunch of time on it, but we all know those coworkers that we know too much about their personal lives, or they're constantly complaining about someone or something at the job. Do a strong assessment to make sure you're not this person. Because in reality, there is no amount of work that can make me want to work with you as a bad person. In fact, the first 2 to 5 minutes of any interview is just me seeing if you pass the vibe check, if you're somebody I want to work with. You cannot outwork being a bad person. I can't say that enough. Number 5, and this one's so critical. Apply now for the position or things that you want in the future. In this cycle, particularly with all the layoffs in this economy, it is taking people that are very qualified 6 months to 18 months to find a position. The bad news is that sucks, right? There's a lot of talented people on the field that need to find a home. The good side and the benefit for you is because you now know you have 6 to 18 months to continue to work on your development plan and move yourself further along the journey, because it's taking that long to even find the position that you want. Because you're gonna start checking off things in your network, in your experience, in your development plan, you're gonna become more and more competitive over the 18 months because you're focused and you're delivering outcomes that these employers want. So start applying now. The worst position you can be in, and again, I've been there, is applying for a job when you really need a job. I failed at a startup and had to apply for a position, and the stress that came with that of having to find a position while you need to be making money is too much. It can ruin so many different things. Most importantly, your mental health. Don't put yourself in that position. Don't wait to the end. Hey, look guys, I'm not a fan of surviving anything. I like to thrive. And more importantly, I want the same for all of you. This can be confusing, this can be frustrating, but you now have the keys that I wish I knew to be successful and thrive in corporate America. So as always, you can do anything with God and hard work. Don't get comfortable. My name's RP. Peace.